Right, still got that dark colour in here that I'm the darker brown that I'm using. I'm just going to pull straight down underneath that. Allowing it to mix a little with the colour underneath, and then I can go into this shadowed area. Now I've hardly got any paint on my brush, I can just put a few little tiny indications of something going on in there. Just a little bit of something. Reload. Like I say, you do need a lot of paint for this when you're doing this. A lot of paint on the brush and it'll work perfectly for you. Just in here, it goes into the dark, leave that dark shadow in there. Right. Happy? We'll get my bright colour again. Just noticed that this is a bit too bright. Just blend into that. And that's not bright enough up there, so I need to get some more white with the brown. Predominantly more white though than the brown. And then just on this edge, I can go back over it now and it'll remain brighter, and it'll separate the shadow from the highlight. There. See that? Predominantly brighter on that side. Ooh, did you see that? No big deal, I'm just going to have to make the mountain come out a bit wider. That's cool. So yeah, light, dark side. Now, see a few little areas where I need to put a bit of something. A bit of something in there. Just the side of the brush I'm using for that. A little bit of something in the shadows. Really enjoying doing this. I love painting mountains. They're absolutely great. Again, a really light colour. And I'm just going to bring that through there. Just a tiny bit more predominant, a bit more, stand out a bit more. So I'm just going to use the dark brown colour, that one there, and I had a bit of brown on the brush anyway. Just a good dark brown. Just in here, I know I'm going to leave some rocks showing underneath the snow, so I'm just putting a tiny bit of that brown on for that. Not a lot at all, hardly any. Just showing on the rocks underneath. I don't want muddy snow, you see, so you pick out where you want the rocks to be, and you're careful when you put the snow over that. I'll probably use a small part of the knife to do it. Something about like that. And just a tiny bit up in there of that. Yeah, that'll do. Right, so I'm at about a stage now where I can use the knife. I'm just going to get a tiny bit of this. See, I've got this bluey mixture going now because of what I had left on the palette. Basically lavender and white, bit of blue. It's more to the blue side than the red is the lavender. So just with that off-white, load a decent ridge on your knife, and then just up in here I want to indicate some snow. See that? Just let it come off of the knife. The knife it'll grab the paint with this being oils, it'll grab the paint. That's exactly what I'm trying to get. See it? There, just grab it. At the tops here, I need to put some in there. Same up in here. Just let that go over. Leave some of the dark showing through with this. Mega important, because there's a lot of the dark still showing on this. Now, I know we've got an area there that's a little shady. You can pull that over. Leave another spot just in there. I'll start using the small part of the knife to get right to the tops of these, because they've got them right on the very tippy top of the mountain. So at the moment I'm getting the bulk of it on, the bulk of the colour. And you can come back in and just play with it a little, like so. Just love painting mountains with a knife. So much fun. And I haven't painted one for a while. It's been quite a while since I last painted a mountain, so I'm happy that I'm back onto one. I just saw this picture and I thought, oh, I'm going to have to do that for people on YouTube, because they're going to love it. It's a special one. So just in there, I want to let it mix with the colour underneath and just drag it. See that? Just drag it straight over the flat of the knife. Yeah? It's quite detailed up there. So if you just drag it with the flat of the knife, it gives you all these little rocky effects and all that. Even got a nice one stringing through there. Just in the shadows, I'm going to get a bit more of the blue. And I'm going to make a mixture there which is a bit more blue. And also, I might put a tiny bit of crimson in it as well. Bit too much crimson there. Tiny bit more blue. Bit of black maybe. See what that's like. Nice colour. Yeah. One overpowers the other. Usually the blue is the one to overpower the crimson. And then we get a bit more white. Mix that with it. See that? That's a shadow colour. Lovely light mauve colour. Now, just in the shadows, in here, we've still got some snow lower down, just in there. Just there. Little pointy one. There's something on that. I want to use a small part of the knife, and just in there, this acts as a separator. Putting the snow on there, it comes down a bit. A bit just in the centre. This is a shadowed white. It's not as bright as that side. It's a lot darker. But then, once I put a bit of that in there, I'm going to come back and I'm going to get some straight white again. So I just need to wipe the towel on the towel, clean the knife off, and then because the sunlight is actually hitting here, I'm going to get a bit of that white, and I'm going to allow some of it to just break over that. There. Same in there, just a bit. And then it's going to come through for this glazier. Now the glazier itself is going to come from, see where I marked it out before? So I can just put some white in like so first. That comes right through. Forget that that side's even there. Right up the edge of that. Sweet. Now it does actually break off slightly here and there. So in other words, just up in here there's an area just right on the edge of that where it breaks it up slightly. And then the laser's going down from that angle. Yeah, that's it. That's what we're after. Now just in here we've got a real shadowed one. So I'm going to get that shadowed colour. White and lavender. Mauve lavender actually. And then just in here I'm just going to put some of that. I might even get a bit more of the darker tones in there. So a bit more blues, a bit more black, and a tiny bit more crimson. All in that same spot again. Just to darken the shadow colour off. A bit more crimson needed. To gain that balance every time. This is much darker though, much darker for the shadowed side, for the snow. Just in here, I'm just going to apply some of that. So there's a shadow for this mountain basically, and this is just the colour that I'm pulling into it. So all the snow up here will have some of that on. I'll go into it with a brush as well. And then there's a shadow from there coming out as well. Like it. Something about like that for now. Get the small part of the knife. Put a bit of that shadow colour right up into those white bits that are left, as though the snow's trying to creep up the mountain like it does. But you don't want to be white because it's in the shadows. There. Forget about that part for now. Happy. I'm very happy. It's going really well. Back to my brush. It's got a bit of dark on it, but it's not too bad. I can actually just use that here and there for blending those shadows out a bit. Yeah, you can even make it go up the mountain slightly and back down again, and that shadow is pretty much right under that. Blend them shadows out. Same on in here. Now there will be brighter areas that I put onto this as well for this shadow. A few though, not a lot, just a few. I should think of that. And then that snow's going from down there. Cool. Happy. Now, I know as well that I've got some darks in there. So just getting the dark brown and a tiny bit of black, and then where there's some rocks and stuff coming out here, I want to just paint them into that snow. They're not all going to be really big, some will be smaller than others. So one just there, bit of a bigger one. What's that? One just there. Do loads of little tiny rocks that are just peeking out of the snow that's in the shadows. Something like so, I'm happy. Right, I'm just going to get a bit more of that dark colour. Just up in here I need to put a shadow behind that part to separate it from that. Then I can tap. I just noticed that. Smart. Little things like that I like to do. If you lose the dark anywhere, you can just put a tiny little bit back, just like so, a bit at a time. Now even in up here I need a couple of darks, a little red just from there. And it really helps. Really a lot of fun to do. Now I'm going to get the brush with the white on it and I'm going to put it into a bit of that shadow colour. So I've got the shadow colour there. I'm going to get the white, the fan brush with the white on it, and just get a bit of that in, but it's much brighter than that. And then just here and there, up in here, I want to make an area a little bit brighter. It's never always just the same. Never. So I can just make a few little areas a tiny bit brighter than others, which is cool. Works well. Just don't want to be one flat colour on that shadow. Cool. Nice. Right then, so now get the knife again and get some white, and then just working it out in my mind. That's come down past that. You can pull a bit of that down into shadows there. That's fine. Let's have a look at this shadow. Actually comes in there. See that? So I'm integrating the shadow a bit, but not a lot. Just using the knife, the small part of the knife, gently allowing some little detail just going on down in there in the snow. And then with this I'll actually come now and scrape right through. See that? Scrape right through that angle, get off all the excess. Back to my white, and I can just apply some more titanium white, straight titanium white in there, and then I'll just use this brush again and blend it through. Just have to wipe the dark off first, that I picked up before, and then just in there I can pick up some of that white that I put in before and let that come right through. I'll have a little shadow with it. Let that blend in a bit there. And then put a few bits of shadow also into the snow. I'm just going to get that colour again and put a few shadows down into the snow there. With this white as well, I just want to put a little bit of that up in there and bring it so that's coming down, and actually